Всем привет! So hello PaChams, welcome back to our channel. So today we're going to have our interview part. So we invited a teacher here in China. Her name is Anna and she is from Russia. And we're going to ask her 3 questions. So let's start. So the first question, Teacher Anna, is can you tell us how is it like to teach Russian to foreigner or Chinese students?
Okay, so teaching Russian language to Chinese students is quite complicated and challenging because Russian language, as actually any other language, has absolutely different language system. And there are some sounds, for example, which Chinese students do not have. So, for example, the Russian sound r, yes,
That's
they say
right.
like rolling r. So, and actually, this is a real problem to teach students to pronounce this very sound. So, what else? Actually, the Russian language system has cases, and it means that students have to memorize a lot of endings.
Okay,
And take it into account that in the Chinese language, they don't have endings at all. They just have to say one and the same word.
Right.
Doesn't matter what pronoun I, he, we, it is.
Yes, that's right.
Yes. And in the Russian language, you have to remember the endings. Like, for example, я играю, ты играешь, он играет, мы играем. So, something like that.
You need to remember that.
Yes.
Because that's the rule. Okay.
So the phonetics, then grammar, and probably the act of communication itself. Because for as far as I understand, Chinese students are not used to creative speech, spontaneous speech.
That's right.
They are used to memorize. They are used to produce already learned sentences. Whereas when you ask them to describe a picture using simple sentences or to express their emotions, they are a little bit in a trap or in a limbo.
That's right. Actually, it's kind of the same when you're teaching English language or the English language to them. The same thing, same case. All right, thank you so much, Teacher Anna. Okay, now let's move on to the second question. What are your methods, or you can just give us maybe 1 or 2 methods in teaching the Russian language?
Actually, these are the methods which help to involve students, to engage students into group activity. For example, splitting them into smaller groups. Yes, by the way, here in China, we have huge groups of students, like 80 students in one group.
Sometimes.
Yes. And so teaching a language, so this is a practical class, which means they have to not only listen, but they have to speak. That is why I try to split them into smaller groups, like students of 8, give them individual tasks, some activities, and ask them to practice something inside the group. Another thing is
that's a nice method.
Yeah, I think it helps to get them involved. Another thing, I like to use very bright pictures.
What? Oh
yes.
I attended one of her classes, and it's actually attracting as well.
Yes, exactly. For the purpose of attracting their attention. Another thing, I love to give them Russian cartoons, very small pieces, parts from the Russian cartoons. And after that, we try to repeat and to imitate some sentences from those cartoons.
Oh, so that's it. So first one, you actually group them, and then second method is those visual aids,
Visualization, yes.
Okay, all right.
And of course, pair work is always, it's non-stop.
Especially if there are a lot of students in that class.
Right.
I understand that because I also do that in my class. Okay, thank you so much, Joanna, for that answer. Now let's move on to the last question. Wow. All right, so overall, is it easy or difficult teaching a foreign language?
Well, we are teachers of English. So this is our profession, to teach people languages like English language, Russian language. Of course, it is challenging. I would like to say that the problem may arise when you feel a little bit demotivated, when the audience is not responding, when the audience is just busy with their own stuff. And in this situation, when I do not feel that my teaching skills are really important and they are necessary, they are needed, in this situation, I feel a little bit frustrated. Well, but overall, it's really challenging. Yeah, you have to find different approaches to different students, depending on whether they are active or not. And again, the challenge is to involve them into speaking and to make them speak, because they are not used to that. They just want to read and write without wanting to speak. And it is difficult to explain to them that if you want to speak, you should try to speak, even with mistakes. Yes, and one more thing, they are afraid of making mistakes. And they are afraid of showing that they have made a mistake, and other students, their group mates, can see it. They are afraid of being judged.
Oh, kind of the same in my country. So that's the reason why we're not that expressive when we are in class, because we are very scared or afraid that the other student will laugh at us. Or sometimes, like the English language, we're learning the English language, and then our teachers are always telling that you need to apply it, you can talk with your friends outside. But the thing is, if someone or other people is listening to us, they're gonna say, why are they speaking that language? Something like this.
Yeah,
so it's kind of the same.
It's kind of the same. And due to this electronic dictionaries, they stop writing down new vocabulary. And even if they write down the vocabulary, they do not produce their own sentences with them.
That's right.
That is why this is another thing. So spontaneity, creativity, and so these are actually two most important things teaching in China, I think.
So you need to remember that if you want to teach here in China. Okay, thank you so much, Teacher Anna, for answering these 3 questions.
You're welcome.
All right, this is not actually part of the interview already. How long are you teaching foreign language, specifically Russian and English?
So I've been teaching English language for more than 15 years. And Russian actually, so this is my 2nd year of teaching Russian. Yeah, as a teacher of Russian as a foreign language.
Wow. She's a great teacher. If you want to teach her, come to. All right, thank you so much.
Okay,
Всем пока.
Всем пока.